Look, in this video, we're going to talk about a very specific problem related to some people's TRT protocols in which even moderately high doses of testosterone are not affecting them the way that they should be. And if you're one of these people with this problem, the dose, call it 175 milligrams a week, which is considered to be a pretty high dose of testosterone, doesn't really actually mean much. In other words, for you, it's not a high dose. It's not a high dose at all. There are people for whom 175 milligrams a week of testosterone is equivalent to about 110, 115, 120 milligrams a week, which for those of us running TRT for a while, we know that's a pretty low dose. It's a crappy dose generally. So what this has to do with is the biological DNA sequence that takes place regarding the androgen receptor in response to your testosterone injection. There are no reliable ways to test this, but there may be some clear signs that you've got this deficiency and ultimately you need more testosterone. Listen, if you've been suffering from like taking TRT and erections aren't stellar and libido isn't crazy and you don't feel incredible and look incredible, this might be something for you to watch. Let's break this down, but importantly, let's break down how to fix it. All right, before we start the video, look, Cortex Labs is purely a TRT-based company. We make products that help people dial in sexual function and dial in TRT in general. Recently launched high-dose TRT Mastery premium video course. Go look at the check mark, see what it does for you, download it instantly. It can be yours now. It's in the description. Mastering libido and erections on TRT. Digital playbook, downloadable now in the description. Mastering test cypionate on TRT, downloadable now, video course in the description. Mastering test cream for libido and erections. Guys, elite level products down in the description of this video. Last thing, we just launched 2 new TRT protocol consults. First of them being the TRT protocol audit. I personally will audit your protocol and give you instruction on how to move forward to fix your biggest problems. Secondarily, the TRT sexual function enhancement consult. If you're having libido and erection issues, this is the consult for you. You can book them in under a minute, livecortex.com or down in the description of this video. So first, we're going to go to a paper that sort of lays a little bit of this out, but it is kind of the description of what happens when you're in the state where you can't actually respond to TRT the right way. It's called genetic variation in the androgen receptor modifies the association between testosterone and vitality in middle-aged men. I just want you to think about that for a second, right? That there could be variations in the androgen receptor that change how positively testosterone benefits you. But really, this is what we want to look at, okay? So the basis of this video and the basis of the problem that some folks have are CAG repeats, CAG polymorphisms. Without getting into the sciencey stuff, regarding CAG repeats on the androgen receptor, it's basically like a genetic gain knob. Like if you've ever looked at a volume meter when you're messing with audio in any capacity, you've got gain, and it creates a higher amplitude signal of your voice, your music, or whatever. Here's me controlling gain on my microphone. I'm going to turn my gain up, turning gain up, turning gain up. It sounds much different. And the general rule is the shorter the CAG repeat, the more you have androgen receptor sensitivity and a stronger transcriptional response, right? The genetic expression of your androgen receptor activation is where you get the effect from androgens. The longer the CAG repeat length, the less androgen receptor sensitivity, which translates to mild to moderate androgen resistance. And this is all despite your dose and despite your blood. So if you're sitting at 1200, 1300, 1400, and you're just not getting the libido and erections, you've determined it is an estrogen. You can lower estrogen with zinc, calcium B-glucarate, maybe an AI. As long as you're not crushing it, you should have a positive response if it's estradiol inhibiting erections and libido. If you do all those things, it doesn't change the response. You're going to need a more powerful androgenic signal. You may have a CAG repeat problem with the androgen receptor. This paper is titled Influence of Androgen Receptor CAG Polymorphism on Sexual Function Recovery After Testosterone Therapy in Late Onset Hypogonadism. The context is people later in life that have hypogonadism. They end up concluding lowered length, right? This is the bad thing with androgen receptors that you don't want, of ARG and CAG repeat track seems to lower TRT-induced improvement of sexual function. So how do you know if this is you? I've gotten these weird cases where in coaching, like none of the usual stuff that people do to enhance TRT protocols specifically for sexual function, anabolism, and energy work much at all. Okay, we try to get them in a perfect DHT estrogen balance. E2 is at like 30, 35, DHT is at 70, total test is 900 to 1200. No erections, no libido. It's basically like they don't have a sexual system. They respond in terms of anabolism and energy to some extent. Even that isn't great, but nothing works like it's supposed to. This confuses people. They think they've got dopamine problems, oxytocin problems, like just people go down these weird tracks of thinking it's their thyroid hormones, even though they look perfectly fine on the blood, their liver, even though, there's no elevated liver enzymes and everything looks perfectly fine. It might not be. It might be the androgen receptor, and you might need more testosterone. If you've done all the things, okay, you've gotten your estradiol right in a great range for the DHT that you have, you're executing the general rule of TRT doses, which is have that estrogen between 30 and 40 or so, 25 for some people, 45 for others, but right in that range, and still, you're just not getting powerful erections that wake you up in the middle of the night. You don't get spontaneous erections. You're not horny like a madman. These are the cases in which, number one, to consider you might need a higher dose, and number two, to consider behind the scenes, you might have longer lengths of the androgen receptor gene CAG repeat. And it's making you insensitive to your androgens, which means you need more of them. What happens? I'll tell you what happens in coaching. What happens in these individuals, which, by the way, we cannot measure androgen receptor CAG repeats. We don't know if this is the root of it. But assuming it's the root of it, and then implementing protocols that raise the dose, gap out the frequency, give them more testosterone at once, what does it end up doing? It fixes the problem. In some cases, high doses, right? Like pushing sports TRT arena, 220, 230, 250, right? 270 a week, all injected at once or maybe split up into every fourth or fifth day. Those protocols work as well. Now suddenly the person has libido that's revving. Now they're waking up with erections. Now it's not hard to stimulate an erection. It's very, very easy. The wind blows the right way and these guys get erections. Okay, how is it possible on 130 milligrams or 150 milligrams a week, which should be great for people for TRT? These guys do not have adequate sexual function. The moment they go up to 200, 250, start spreading it out, getting more at once, everything works. You're taking a system is why that is insensitive to your androgens, and you're giving yourself more androgens. So that basically your 250 is like 150 for somebody else. Then you respond to TRT. This, among other reasons, I think a lot of the perpetuated nonsense that is out there on the web regarding daily subcutaneous injections, something we've never done, isn't very well studied at all, and our bodies are not accustomed to one fucking bit, is what has prompted me to put the information out there further. You might need a higher dose of test. Whether you have CAG repeat problems or otherwise, you might need a higher dose of test. You might need to fix your body so that you can tolerate a higher dose of test. Okay? You might need to jettison all this new stuff about daily injections and steady state and just inject how we used to inject, 200 milligrams once a week on a Sunday. Let it go. Let your body peak and trough the right way as it's supposed to do. You keep the estrogen, the DHT in the right ratios. Well, then you're super anabolic suddenly when you never could be on those lower end doses. You look like a fucking Greek god. You feel like an animal. Your energy never ceases from the moment you wake up until the moment you go to bed. And the libido and the erections are fully back. You have to start thinking out of the box. This entire channel is about getting people that are taking normal doses of TRT or otherwise whatever doses, doing the right thing seemingly, but you do not have sexual function. May not be the case. You necessarily have CAG repeat problems, but there obviously is an issue there. And if you've done everything else to fix it, increase the dose, gap out the frequency. All right, boys, on the consult frameworks, there was another one that I didn't introduce at the beginning, sports TRT. All right, for those of you that are tired of TRT and you want to go beyond basic replacement and build a performance-based protocol, I've got a consult for that. Sports TRT consult, 45-minute call. Deep dive on your goals, your TRT setup, symptoms, performance bottlenecks. All right, when we do coaching for people or consults, it's highly analytical to get the best results possible. All right, if you need help venturing out into the higher doses to get orders of magnitude better results with TRT, we've got a sports TRT consult. Go book me. Let's get on the phone. Let's talk about it. Let's build a protocol that works for you. You can get that down in the description of this video. It's brand new. Again, the TRT protocol audit, that is our cheapest option. It is brand new. Okay, a quick call with me, an audit of everything in your protocol and suggestions moving forward. All right, this may be a low pressure way for some of you to get in to get results on TRT when you're sitting there spinning your wheels. You can book the TRT protocol audit in under a minute, livecortex.com. Coaching, 50% off for the first time since last August. If you need a 3 to 6 month coaching, some people with serious sexual dysfunction and otherwise problems on TRT, listen, we're going to need the time. Okay, if you have the budget, you are a serious individual, you will follow instructions, and you want to get the best possible results from an actual TRT expert, hire me. Real clients, boys, real results. Go read what people are saying. It will transform your TRT protocol, and right now the code 50NOW saves you 50%. That is thousands of dollars on the 3-month coaching program or the 6-month coaching program. I have built a plethora of useful information around high-dose TRT, mastering libido and erections, mastering testosterone cypionate, mastering testosterone cream. We have a source list, all at livecortex.com, and down in the description of this video. Our most popular product lately has been High-Dose TRT Mastery Premium Video Course, my brother. All right, get it down in the description of this video, and let's go. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you. Do me 2 favors if you're still here. Like the video. It makes a huge difference. Honestly, this makes a difference. I wouldn't even mention it if it didn't make a difference. I need you to hit the like button, bro. Sub to the channel. So much more of this in the past and forever in the time continuum. The #1 TRT channel on YouTube. All right, I'd love to have you on board. Brother, kick ass, rock on, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you in the next one.